Hello and welcome to a special bonus Monday mini Locked On Lakers podcast. Klay Thompson is off to Dallas in a sign-and trade. Who is left for the Lakers to potentially acquire via free agency or trade? Get into that next.
You are Locked On Lakers, your daily Los Angeles Lakers podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
And thanks for making Locked On Lakers your first listen wherever you get your podcast, Monday through Friday, always free, never behind a paywall. And Locked On Lakers on YouTube is where you can hang out with a community of almost 25,000 subscribers. Really awesome, fun, smart, respectful group of audience, very engaged, leave comments. We often use them as part of the show. I'm Andy Kamenetzky, co-host of Locked On Lakers. My brother Brian is unavailable, but wanted to just do a quick reaction video to the news broken by Adrian Wojnarowski from ESPN. Quote, free agent Klay Thompson plans to join the Dallas Mavericks on a 3-year, $50 million deal that includes a player option, sources told ESPN's Adrian Wojnarowski, ending his historic run with the Golden State Warriors. Thompson's move to Dallas comes as part of a multi-team sign-and trade that will send Mavericks guard Josh Green to Charlotte. Sources said Thompson had 4-year offers for more money, but taking less was offset by the chance to win a 5th championship with the Mavs, as well as difference in state taxes. Now, Woj was not specific as to whether or not the offers with 4 years and or more money specifically came from the Lakers, but I would say given the Lakers were by multiple media reports very engaged in talks for Klay Thompson, I'm willing to, at least for the time being, till we hear otherwise, assume that they were at least putting out a legitimate offer for Klay Thompson. Ultimately, he ends up deciding to play in Dallas. I can see reasons that Dallas would be more appealing for Klay. They, by definition, are closer to a championship because they were just in the finals. I also think that with Luka Doncic and Kyrie Irving, there is less of a lift 82 season game in the regular season for Klay as there would be on a team with LeBron and AD both coming off an Olympic run. Talked about this many times. The everydayers will be familiar with it. I do think the issue that comes with LeBron having to pace himself at this stage of his career does mean that even with all the producing that he does, and he produces at a level that is quite literally unprecedented for any type of player his age, it is astonishing that he can still do this. There is definitely a level of pacing himself, and there is a level of other stuff being left for some of the players around him, namely defense. And for somebody like Klay, who I believe is 35 himself, that could be appealing. It's interesting. I put out a poll in the YouTube community section asking our viewers whether or not they were excited at the prospect of Klay Thompson joining the Lakers. The 4 choices were awesome, not my first choice, but solid pickup, not terrible, but not great either, or pass. And awesome got 44%, and that was the clubhouse leader. So I imagine there's going to be Laker fans unhappy about this. For what it's worth, I wasn't particularly all that wild about the Klay option to begin with. I think at this stage of his career, we've seen the decline, particularly on the defensive end, that has come after multiple leg-related, Achilles, ACL. We've seen that damage come in. His scoring is still at times pretty lethal, and he is capable of getting on an occasional roll, and the guy will be able to hit from deep for the rest of his life in his sleep. But even his offense is starting to grow less efficient. He's become much more three-point centric, three-point dependent. And again, defensively, he's not the Klay that he used to be. So for what it's worth, I'm not all that upset by this. What's interesting, though, and we're going to get into more of this for the full show on Tuesday with Brian, just where do the Lakers go from here? Because, there had been the report, Rich Paul telling ESPN that LeBron would be willing to take a pay cut to try to help the Lakers if it was to acquire a player of a certain stature. Some of the names included James Harden, who was never realistic to begin with, but he's staying with the Clippers 2 years, $70 million reportedly. Jonas Valanciunus, who joined the Wizards for 3 and $30, and now Klay Thompson. Those were the guys on the list. As I said at the time when we talked about this for Monday's show, I can't imagine that the list is 3 players and that's it. DeMar DeRozan could be an option. He's been linked to the Lakers for years. Joe Cowley, I believe that's how you pronounce his name, Bulls reporter for the Chicago Sun-Times, reported today that DeMar DeRozan, who is an impending free agent, will not be sticking around in Chicago. DeRozan is an interesting option for the Lakers. He's got some minuses, particularly defensively, but offensively, he is somebody that can really help the team out. He's become, I think, a really, really underrated playmaker beyond the mid-range scoring everybody knows he's capable of. Maybe there are trade options with the Brooklyn Nets for Dorian Finney-Smith and or Cam Johnson, the Blazers for Jeremy Grant, the Wizards, Kyle Kuzma. I hope a trade for Zach LaVine or Trae Young is off the table, but for the time being, it's a possibility until you know that it's not. So it'll be interesting to see where the Lakers go with this. We've talked about before, they have a full roster right now, so they're going to have to manufacture space, salary dumping one of their veteran minimum guys or a Maxwell Lewis, maybe a Jalen Hood-Schifino, or trying to create a trade where they send 2 players out for one. There's a lot on Rob Pelinka's plate now anyway, but it's going to be interesting to see where the Lakers go moving forward, because many of the names that seemingly felt impactful to LeBron, and also I get a sense are impactful in the eyes of Laker fans, they're starting to come off the board. So we'll see where everything goes from here. Again, Locked On Lakers on YouTube is where you can hang out with this awesome community. Before we go, want to make sure that everybody knows today's show is brought to you by FanDuel, and we all love sports. We love them so much. We never want them to stop. But as the playoffs wind down, we get fewer games, and the sports aren't sportsing like we want them to. FanDuel helps me, helps you, helps all of us keep the sports going whenever we want. All you got to do is just open up the app, dream up bets anytime you're in the mood. You get baseball, you get WNBA, you get options. And this summer, FanDuel is hooking up all customers with a boost or a bonus daily. So there's going to be something for everyone every day all summer long. Head over to FanDuel.com/lockedon. Start making the most out of your summer. FanDuel, official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball. Locked On Lakers is also brought to you by BetterHelp, and Locked On Lakers is also brought to you by BetterHelp. Sometimes we all need the opportunity to get things off our chests, off our mind, big or small. These things can start to get to you. They really add up. They eat at you. And it's important that you let it out, that you have an avenue, somebody who is unbiased in your life. And we hope, for example, that this show, Locked On Lakers, is a nice escape from real life for Laker fans, as passionate as I am about the Lakers, as all you are about the Lakers. We love the purple and gold, but at the same time, I don't care how much purple and gold you bleed. Everybody has issues in life that are more pressing than the Lakers. And again, it's important to have that outlet, that the avenue to speak with somebody unbiased. And it's huge to talk with a professional. I can speak to what therapy did for my family and me during a really difficult period in our lives. If you're thinking of starting therapy, give BetterHelp a try. It's entirely online, designed to be flexible, suited for your schedule. Visit BetterHelp.com/LockedOnNBA to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/LockedOnNBA. Again, we will have a bigger show for Tuesday, and we will see everybody then.